Good evening. Happy Wednesday.
We back.
Happy June 1st. You were probably sitting there last week going, where are the guys?
Yeah.
We're here. Steve had his palatial Central Studios bulldozed and rebuilt with clay, apparently. So
we're going back to the Stone Age.
That's right.
I actually live in a Barbie dream house, and they had to do some work on it.
That's right. And
I'm a Barbie girl. Never mind.
Steve's a Barbie girl.
Yeah. But the basement below the palatial Central Florida Studios has all come together nicely.
There you go. Well, you got to build from the underground up, right? Isn't that what they say?
From the rubble, we can rebuild it.
From the rubble. Yeah, I feel like that's
Brick by brick. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Old habit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Rome wasn't built in a day, so there you go.
Sure as heck wasn't.
Yeah.
Actually, Rome was built in a day because the first time the person said, "This is Rome," Rome was built.
Right. Yeah.
Those are facts. So that's Stephen Willis, Jeb Beechum, Jake Thomas. What's up, guys? We got a great show. Steve, we're going to steal one of your ideas, looks like. Talk about Georgia Tech?
Yes. Nerds.
We got
nerds.
We got some nerds. We got some SEC scheduling stuff from the SEC meetings. Uh-oh. Somebody's net zero bill didn't go through. But then we're going to get off the rails a little bit. We're going to talk about the match. And we're going to talk about the NBA Finals as well a little bit, too. I want to get you guys' opinion on who will win all of that. So, without further ado, Steve.
Is the Boston Celtics playing?
Yes.
The Boston Celtics.
Oh, they really are. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They beat
really
Miami
in seven. Celtic pride. Yeah, they beat Miami in 7 somehow. They beat every game was all 4 wins were a blowout. Like every win in this series was a blowout.
It was strange.
It was a very weird series.
Okay.
So odd.
All right, you want me to tell my story?
Let's hear about it.
Let's go.
Hear it.
Okay, this is going to take a little bit of time, so whoever's in the chat, just bear with me. If you have any questions, ask them. We'll address them. But we have people here that are Georgia fans, Alabama fans, and Tennessee fans. 3 schools that have interest at that time of what Georgia Tech did. And Georgia still has an interest in what's going on with Georgia Tech. They actually still play. But back whenever Georgia Tech was in the SEC, they were actually pretty consistent rivals with Tennessee. And they are in Alabama's freaking fight song. That's how important they were to Alabama. So, what it is, in 1946, Ole Miss went to Atlanta and played a regular season game against Georgia Tech. That's the first time that Ole Miss played Georgia Tech, 1946. In 1947, Ole Miss hired Johnny Vaught. The head coach at Georgia Tech was Bobby Dodd. Well, Johnny Vaught tried to schedule a home and home like you figure you would. He's assuming, since they went to Atlanta, that Georgia Tech was going to come back to Oxford the following year. Well, Bobby Dodd refused. And then went on like a Steve Spurrier-like escapade for the next 10 or so years, talking about how he never will play a game in the state of Mississippi. And went on and do that. So the home and home, the only regular season game that has ever been played between Georgia Tech and Ole Miss was in Atlanta in 1946. That is just some background and the reason why it was on my Locked On Ole Miss show, because we're going to go full circle with that. So Bobby Dodd was a massive egomaniac. He was the Steve Spurrier of his day. Him and Bear Bryant negotiated an alliance in 1964. Yeah.
The original alliance.
Over something that was called the 140 rule. And what that meant is your football team and basketball team could only have 140 total scholarships. Good grief. Can you imagine what that would be like now?
Wow.
But Bobby Dodd did not want the 140 rule to pass because he did not want people that they had given scholarships to for it to be taken away. And he had secretly negotiated a deal with Bear Bryant to where he would vote against it as well. So the vote legendarily was at 6-6. With the only one left to go was the Alabama athletic director. And Alabama voted for the 140 rule instead of that announced.
Well, of course, they're going to sign 135 people so that the other schools can't sign anybody.
Yeah, that's the way they did. And Bobby Dodd threw a huge fit, like just complete temper tantrum, to the point where, like, we're going to take our ball and go home. So Georgia Tech decided to become an independent. Before Georgia Tech left the SEC, the 1950s, they were in the top 5 like 7 out of 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a legit school. They were the power school in Georgia in the 50s. Now, Georgia has an SEC title during that time frame, but Georgia Tech has 2 or 3 of them and an undefeated season. And it was crazy to see what they did. But Georgia Tech thought they would get delusions of grandeur and take that 200 and 100 record or something in the SEC and become an independent, be the Notre Dame of the South. The same mistake that Tulane made, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And their time as an independent, there were 100 and 100. The highlight of Georgia Tech's independent period was they were the team that was playing when Rudy sacked the quarterback. Yeah, they were the one that was sacked by Rudy.
Yep.
So
Rudy,
in the 70s,
Rudy.
in the 70s, Bobby Dodd had moved on and everything, but Johnny Vaught was still maybe the athletic director at Ole Miss. Either way, he had a high influence on the program. And Bear Bryant offered to sponsor Georgia Tech back into the league, to bring them back in with his blessing, the Almighty. And they had 8 votes yes and 2 nay. And they needed unanimity or whatever it's called, unanimous. The 2 against was Ole Miss and Mississippi State, as a simple F you to Bobby Dodd for not playing a game all those years back in the state of Mississippi. Then, a few years later, Vince Dooley tried to get Georgia Tech into the league. The same thing happened.
Really?
8 yes, 2 no, and the 2 no was Ole Miss and Mississippi State, because they were going to hold that grudge because of the games that Bobby Dodd played over them forever. And eventually Georgia Tech joined the ACC because the SEC was not an option.
So Georgia wanted a back end?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Good for Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Hey, I got some stats here to follow up on what Steve had said. I found these when I was doing some research. The 1951 through 1963, they were 6-3-1 against Tennessee, 7-2-2 against Florida, 6-1 against Auburn, 7-6 against Alabama, and 9-4 against Georgia.
That was their heyday.
Back when it was a rivalry, folks.
Right. And they was, like Steven said, was ranked in the top 20 each of those years and won the national championship in 1952.
And the team they beat in 52 actually was the Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss. They beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some more research, some further research to piggyback off what Jake said. And my research tells me that Georgia still runs the state.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Jake, you said it was, what were the years on that?
51 through 1963.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the 1950s in the SEC, the 2 top programs were the Ole Miss Rebels and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yep.
I think in 56, Tennessee went to the Sugar Bowl, and I was looking at the records just kind of for fun, and they beat 2 ranked teams that year, and it was Georgia Tech and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Made me laugh. But then they lost the Sugar Bowl, so I was less interested after that.
Well, put all that in perspective. From 1932, because there was a founding member of the SEC. Mm-hmm. From 1932 to 1963, Georgia Tech compiled a 206 and 110 and 12 tie record, and 5 SEC championship games or wins with that one national championship. From 64 to 82, they were 104, 105 with 0 titles.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Georgia ended the 50s with an SEC championship in 1959.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the game. Nobody talks about Georgia that year because that's the year that Billy Cannon ran the punt back against Ole Miss, and the basic 2 best teams in the country were Ole Miss and LSU.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
want to hear my fun facts?
Go ahead.
I was just looking at it because I didn't. Obviously, this was all before I started watching football, but or was even born. But I didn't realize. Okay, I knew Bobby Dodd had played at Tennessee. He was quarterback under General Neyland, and when Neyland, he left for the war in World War II. He came back to Tennessee in '46, 1946, which that's when he became General Neyland because he had been a brigadier general up at that point. So he retired from military, came back. His first game back in 1946 was against Georgia Tech with his former quarterback Bobby Dodd, coaching the other team. General Neyland did beat him, but he played him 4 times, basically all in the 40s, and had a 2-2 record. So it was like back and forth every year. Mm-hmm. In 46, he met him for the first time and beat him. In 47, Bobby Dodd got his revenge and beat General Neyland, and I think gave General Neyland his worst defeat up to that point that he had ever had. Then in 48, Georgia Tech was ranked. Tennessee wasn't. Tennessee upset and beat him. And then in 49, they turned it around. Tennessee was ranked. Georgia Tech wasn't, and they beat them. They upset Tennessee. Yeah. So it was back and forth that whole time between his proteges there.
So
and you know who the quarterback at Georgia was for the 1959 championship?
Fran Tarkenton.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, I was at trivia the other night, and Jeb can verify this. The question was, who was the first draft pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and where did he go to college? And I nailed that.
I would not have come close.
And it was Leroy Selman from Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not a chance. How do you know that, Steve?
Down here, one of the main thoroughfares is the Selman Expressway.
Wow.
So I did research. Yeah. So
I was gonna say he's a robot. He's an AI robot.
Well, I mean, I guess we're next to Tampa. We got to start learning that Tampa trivia. I don't know.
So I tell that story and everything. We give all that background to everybody. What's going on with the Georgia Tech situation? It doesn't necessarily matter anything. But I asked that to ask you this. There's the rumor of a all SEC national playoff. And people assume that is going to be the 16 teams that are currently in the SEC. No, that is us taking the best of your conference and just putting 30 teams together like a little mini NFL.
Where do I sign up for this?
Yeah, and that's what that will be. If the SEC only playoff happens, you're going to have Michigan, you're going to have Ohio State, you're going to have Oregon, you're going to have USC, you're going to have Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina. Could you have Georgia Tech? Because the SEC loves Atlanta. So that's the reason I brought this up tonight, is the importance of Atlanta. Would Georgia Tech be able to make their way back in out of this purgatory that they've been in recently?
I don't know. You think Mississippi's over it yet?
Yeah. It's going to depend on those two schools.
Ole Miss is playing them, so.
Yeah. Oh, next year when Georgia Tech comes to Oxford, the argument that began in 1946 will finally be over. Georgia Tech will finally play a game at Ole Miss.
Georgia Tech will be back in the SEC. If North Carolina's in the SEC, so will Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, they're not going to keep adding ACC schools and not get that Atlanta market. They're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
And it preserves the Georgia Tech clean old-fashioned hate rivalry.
Yeah, which that is going to be preserved anyway, although it leaves Georgia Tech with just a hellacious schedule. Have y'all seen that?
No.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh, my goodness.
The only reason I know, Steve, is because I listened to your show. I watched it. It's brutal.
He's trying to get brownie points, Jeb. You know, he don't have to work this summer like we do. So
really.
Yeah, he's got time to listen to podcasts.
Let me tell you something here, brother. No, I'm working as a job coach for Empower Youth, which is a program through Goodwill. So yes, I am working. I was at training all day long. So.
Ooh, I got a job.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, I got a real job.
Is Georgia Tech? I honestly haven't been keeping up with them. Are they over that triple option stuff? Because that was annoying.
This new coach.
They haven't. Yeah, the new coach, they haven't done it. And the problem right now with Georgia Tech is they're losing games because anytime you change for something like that triple option system, it's going to take a while to get back into normal football. The same thing happens whenever you drink from the air raid juice. It's going to take a little bit. Texas Tech went through that a little bit after they got rid of Kingsbury. But eventually they will kind of start cooking with gas. I think Jeff Collins, you know, it was one of those situations it's like I tell Jake all the time. You don't want to be the coach that replaces Saban. You want to be the coach that replaces the coach that replaces Saban. And the same thing happened there with Paul Johnson because of the recruiting. Make this other guy do all the work for the recruiting. Then you come in and have a more neutral program to take over.
Well, you got to think.
Jeff Collins never stood a chance. I mean, Jeff Collins, like if you really look at him, I mean, yeah, he's a good coach, but I think he's everything that I worry about Billy Napier becoming, because they're from the same kind of mold of like they felt like they have to bring this extra cheese factor in to like, I don't know, like he's more worried about marketing. Like he should just be a marketing director, because like the ATL stuff is cool, but he's forgetting to coach the team because he's worried about drinking from a Waffle House cup at press conferences or doing bicep curls on the sideline before a game on TV, or like doing all like the Butch Jones brick by brick stuff. Like he's forgetting to coach the team. And like one of Tech's, I think one of the telltale things is one of Tech's alum who like you cut him open and he bleed, like Yellow Jackets come out of his heart. Like that's what happens. And he left to go to Texas.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
well, another thing is before Jahmyr Gibbs got to Alabama, you never heard of him. I didn't hear about him the last 2 years. This great, terrific player, all of a sudden, what happened?
They didn't get any recognition.
Yeah. He's underutilized. I mean, it's just like I said, just follow Georgia Tech for a little bit. You'll see. Like you'll see what I'm talking about. And you know, Jeff Collins is a good G5 coach, I think, but I'm not saying he's a bad coach all around. I'm just saying he's not a good fit for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech needs somebody that's going to come in and really just focus on getting a few recruits, working the portal, and really developing the talent that they have there. There's some talented guys there at Georgia Tech. It's a tough school to recruit to because their budget sucks. Their school is hard to get into. They don't really like athletics there somehow. But they need a coach that can overcome that. Paul Johnson was that guy. They need somebody like that, but not run a gimmick system. They need somebody that doesn't give a you-know-what. I'm trying to keep our clean rating for now. At least make it off the rails. But
do you know who would do a fantastic job there? Hugh Freeze.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a scary hire for Tech. That would be I would like that hire. Or somebody like Jamie Chadwell, I think, would do well there.
Mm-hmm. But I do agree with you, by the way. Jeff Collins would be a Sun Belt coach. I could picture him doing that at Coastal Carolina or Georgia Southern. Something. Yeah.
Collins would be great at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just not like it. I just don't. I don't like it at Georgia Tech because like it's such a dramatic culture shift that like everybody's kind of like, wait, what? And then now he got
Herman.
so.
That's a good hire. Tom Herman at Georgia Tech.
I actually, as a Georgia fan, yes, that would be a great hire. Do it.
I think Tom Herman at Houston was good. Tom Herman at Texas isn't going to show up at Georgia Tech.
No.
Tom Herman at Houston's the one you want. You don't want the one at Texas.
I'm not touching that. You can have that one. I'm not touching that one.
Both of them are kind of gimmick stuff. They're gimmick stuff, and they do not belong anywhere near major programs.
Enjoy. Yeah. You can have Tom Herman. Give me Pete Golden. give me that guy. No. Like Shane Beamer would be a home run at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, because
I mean he's already in a better situation. He's not going to go downward, but like somebody like that.
Oh,
would be
props
outstanding.
to Jeff Collins for one thing. Getting rid of the white home jerseys and bringing the blue and gold back to home games at Bobby Dodd.
Yeah.
The uniforms look cool. I like the ATL thing. It's God.
Yeah, it's
I'm
one of
losing
their
my dog card, but it's good.
Yeah, it's one of their best selling points of their university is Atlanta. And the same reason I think the SEC might want them back in if they expand and go, just so they can have Atlanta's school. So why not market to it?
Now coach the team.
Yeah.
Just coach the team now. Like, you got the marketing piece. Coach the team. You're good. Coach the team.
Yeah. We used to say that about
Coach
Bush
him.
Jones a lot.
Coach them up.
You're bringing in the great guys now.
I am for
Forget
Bill
the
O'Brien to
slogans.
Georgia Tech. Let's do it.
I second that.
Yeah.
The who?
Pete Golding, a defensive coordinator, right?
That's right.
I've kind of grown on Pete Golden. So
Nick Saban has. I mean,
Yeah.
Nick Saban, he survived a DUI under Nick Saban. You know he's doing something right.
by the way, I don't know who said what in the chat because it's blurry, but I just see my name blurred out there. So I don't know what.
It's John.
Oh, hey,
did.
John. Oh, we got some stuff. Yeah, it's blurry. I can't read any of it.
Yeah, I can't either.
Really?
So why is everybody blurred out tonight, Steve?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's clear for me. It's weird.
Well, of course it is.
Are we running on the squigglies here?
Yeah. I mean,
Are you
everybody's
using
blurry.
net zero?
No.
I'm not.
Jeb hasn't cut off in the last minute, so I'm.
Yeah, I figured out the problem there.
It's Jeff's fault.
My
But,
computer was automatically starting up a VPN every time, so I had to shut
Okay.
that off.
Last thing about Georgia Tech, and we'll get out of the ACC here, but they opened things up with Clemson
Oh.
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
on Labor Day at the Benz.
The backup quarterback from Clemson transferred to him. The one that I cannot pronounce his name, and I don't mean DJ
Pocahontas?
Ulam. Yeah, it was his backup. It's like, great, yeah. Of course you would transfer to somebody Ole Miss is playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good luck with that one. Then they have a home game against Western Carolina. Trap game.
Catamounts.
Then they're home against Ole Miss.
Oh, big L.
Then they've got the Central Florida Golden Knights. They're in Orlando. Then they're at Pitt.
LL.
Then they have a reprieve against Duke. Then they're home against
Allegedly.
Virginia. That's an L. Yeah.
L.
Then they're at Florida State.
L.
Then they're at Virginia Tech.
L.
L. Then they're home against Miami.
L.
L. Then they're in Chapel Hill against
L.
North Carolina. L.
So 0-12.
And then at Georgia, finally. I think they had like 7 straight home games through the pandemic.
It's like Western
Georgia.
Carolina and Levin. That's what that schedule says to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
At least
Somebody-
they look cool though.
Somebody put on Twitter that Georgia Tech's schedule looks like it was designed by somebody that wanted to see Georgia Tech lose.
Who's the athletic director? He's trying to get rid of Jeff Collins. You can tell.
Hey, John. We got another John. John Davis said, hey guys.
Hey, John Davis.
Hey, John. Wish we could say hi, but we can't see you.
Yeah.
Besides Steve.
Are
Yeah.
you
On
dogs?
drugs. On
We
drugs.
are all on drugs.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm on a magic carpet ride over here.
Okay. Let's
I'm
move
on
on
drugs,
from
Weezer
Georgia
style.
Tech because Georgia Tech is great, and I love that story. I think Georgia Tech in the SEC should be a 30 for 30. It would be fantastic.
Really should.
Wait. Can I ask a quick question before we leave that? Just not really on Georgia Tech, but on since they left the SEC. Swanee also did. Did Swanee just give up football? What happened with them? I've never looked into it.
They are a D3 school. They are the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee.
But they
And
still play.
They played
Okay.
D3 football, but
They
they
played
left the
D3
SEC because they could not win a game. They just
Yeah,
got
no, that makes sense.
drubbed. But they do have the famous 1899 team to where they played 6 teams in 7 days and beat them all. And it was like Ole Miss, Texas, LSU, Tulane, Alabama. They just went through and beat everybody. So nobody can take that away, even though it was 2 centuries ago.
All right. I just had to check on that.
But they have a rather nice D3 stadium, though.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little school, but I had trouble picturing them playing football. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, by the way, I'm
Cool
watching
logo, too.
on YouTube, and it's kind of blurry on YouTube as well. So
Really?
I don't know. And it's like delayed like 30 seconds. I don't know why.
Well, it's delayed like 30 seconds.
So we can beep it if we need to.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's blurry on there, and yeah, so I just pulled it up on my phone, and YouTube is blurry as well. I don't know what's up.
YouTube on my end is fine, so that's weird.
Okay.
The Twitter is clear.
Okay.
I mean, it's such a small window, I can't read the chat still, but.
It might just be on my end, boys. I don't know, but I don't know. Explain why Jeb and Corey can't see the chat either. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
I mean, it was completely green.
YouTube on my end is fine, so that's weird.
Okay.
The Twitter is clear.
All right.
Okay.
Twitter's clear.
It's such a small window.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I was
either way.
trying to get the echo in there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the echo chamber.
Echo.
Anyway, so the SEC schedule, guys. Now, we are brought to you by BetOnline.ag, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll get to that in here in just a little bit. But the SEC schedule, SEC media days. I don't want to get into the whole like everyone asking every coach about Jimbo and Saban. It's some of the responses are pretty funny, but one of the things that's up for vote is when Texas and Oklahoma come in. This would be effective then. They're going to do away with the divisions, have a single table, and go to either an 8-game schedule with 1 permanent rival or a 9-game schedule with 3 permanent rivals.
Well, I'll give my opinion first on this while y'all think about this. There's no way the 8-game schedule is going to work with 1 permanent rival, because if we all remember from 1992, why did Auburn have to give up Florida?
Yeah.
And it was Alabama and Tennessee. So there's 2 games that they're going to play every year regardless. That Alabama-Tennessee game and that Alabama-Auburn game, one of those is not going away. So it's going to be the 6-3 model, the 3 permanent teams, because there's really only one team that you can immediately look at and say, hey, these guys are 3 permanent rivals and they should absolutely not lose any of them. But most of them you can do 2, and I think Mississippi State you can do 1.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the 3?
The 3 one's Texas, and that is Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
Okay. So this sounds like the pod system, but without
Georgia,
pods.
Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah, but I don't know if Tennessee is going to make it. It doesn't have doesn't have the same kid, because it's going to be Tennessee, Vandy. It's going to be Tennessee, Alabama, and then Tennessee and Florida. Would that rank higher than Tennessee, Georgia?
That's a good question.
Probably, yeah.
And then the 3 rivals.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say 3 rivals for Alabama was Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU probably. So
that's tougher than ours.
mm-hmm.
No, I feel like Tennessee fans hate Florida more than Georgia, but that's probably more Steve Spurrier's fault than it is Florida being a bigger rival. It's kind of like now with Ole Miss, if we had a coach enough, we hate the team.
I guess Georgia would then pick up South Carolina, because that's been a pretty contentious rivalry lately.
Yeah, that's true.
In order to have for Alabama to have the 3rd Saturday in October with Tennessee, Ole Miss had played Tennessee for decades until 1992. That game went completely away. That was a victim of the move to divisions. And I mean, Tennessee and Ole Miss have dibs on Vandy, but I wouldn't mind getting the Ole Miss Tennessee game back. And the fact that it's every other year, because you'll play that 6 like twice in 4 years.
Yeah.
So the Tennessee game, even if it's not every year, will be back more regular than before.
I like that, because I want kids to sign up to go play at a school in the SEC to be able to play every SEC team while they're there.
I
Which
agree.
hasn't been happening up to this point. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be fun for the kids.
and if you're there
Texas
4 years,
Texas A&M's played Georgia one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a freaking monsoon too.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Alabama's only played Missouri one time. That was in a monsoon.
That's weird.
That wasn't a monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
No, y'all played them twice.
We played them twice.
Y'all started the Eli Drinkowitz era off with a
That's right. We played.
slaughter.
Yeah, a couple years ago. That's right. But
Yeah, and then
We
I
only played them
think
twice.
y'all had Eddie Lacy on your. I think Eddie Lacy was the running back the previous time when y'all played the monsoon. It was like
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy and who was his backup? Yeldon was it TJ Yeldon?
Yeldon. I think Yeldon. Mm-hmm.
I remember watching those two just. It was like they were running at practice. But yeah, I mean, I want to see Georgia play Ole Miss more often. I want to see Georgia play.
That used to be a game that was every
Arkansas.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ole Miss played Georgia and Tennessee a bunch.
Yeah.
Now you hardly see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to see these matchups more regularly. Like I want to see Kentucky play A&M more often.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. I'm very fascinated with Kentucky. If you hadn't been able to pick that up, but see South Carolina and Florida. I want to see them play like Texas more, like Oklahoma more. Like I want to see all of that because I think that's really really fun, and you can't get that without a 9-game schedule. I mean, I think most of these coaches would agree that like this schedule is going to be tough no matter how you slice it or dice it. You're either going to play 9 conference games or you're going to have to pick up a Power 5 opponent somewhere, a legit Power 5 opponent, not like, hey, we're playing
Mercer.
We're playing Purdue.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking of like a low Power 5.
I don't think the Power 5's going anywhere. I think the team that's going to go away as a result of this 9-game conference schedule is one of the 2 G5 games because the FCS game is not going anywhere. I hate to break that to everybody. That's not going anywhere.
And that's fine. That's fine.
We
You
need a
play
homecoming
one
game.
FCS, you play one G5, and then you play a P5, and then your 9-game schedule.
your 9-game schedule.
I love that.
Doesn't the
I'm
Big
fine
Ten
with
do
that.
that? The Big Ten plays 9 conference games, right?
Okay, let's go through each of the teams and just not. It doesn't have to be exact, but let's guess the permanent opponents of each team. Okay.
Okay. All right.
How do you want to do this alphabetically?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with Alabama.
Auburn,
Alabama,
Tennessee.
Auburn,
Tennessee, and LSU, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Auburn. Okay. Now, what about the Auburn Tigers?
Alabama,
Alabama, Georgia,
Georgia. Yep.
and probably Florida.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's a rivalry. I just don't know.
That's a game that was a victim of the '92. That's like the Ole Miss Tennessee game. That was the game that meant a bunch to them. They played a whole bunch of times, and then they just kind of quit playing after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those 3 for Auburn.
Yeah. Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah. Texas, obviously.
Texas,
Texas A&M,
Oklahoma,
Or
Missouri.
Missouri. I don't know.
or Missouri. Yeah, one of them.
Missouri, or LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The battle for the
LSU.
boot or Missouri.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say something. I think they should do LSU, even though they can't. But I will say this about the Arkansas game: Ole Miss has a history back with Arkansas into the '50s. I mean, even when they were in the Southwest Conference, Ole Miss played Arkansas, and it's just a fun rivalry now. But it's probably going to be a victim of the scheduling.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
But it'll still be a fairly regular game, so it's not like it's gonna go
Yeah,
by the
every other
wayside.
year.
Yeah. You play them every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
not-
Every other
it's not-
year.
Every
That's
other
not
year.
bad for some of these fringe rivalries, but okay. So Arkansas, we're saying. So are we saying both Texas A&M, and
Yeah, let's
we're
go
saying
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri, A&M, and Texas. Although I would, instead of A&M, I'd almost say Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
But I don't know.
You want to say OU?
Yeah, let's say OU.
Yeah.
Let's come to a consensus. OU. Okay. All right.
All right, the Georgia Bulldogs. So the home run obviously is Florida. That's a free
And
space.
Auburn.
And Auburn's a free state, free space.
Auburn's definitely a free state.
Yeah.
What are we going, Civil War again?
South Carolina.
I could see that. Either South Carolina or Kentucky.
Yeah.
Probably it feels like South Carolina. I think Kentucky is safe for Vanderbilt. I think that that is the third permanent opponent for Vanderbilt, along with Tennessee and Ole Miss.
So we just got Vandy out of the way too.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about them anyway. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. That's all the Vandy talk.
Yep.
Florida.
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 Okay, so you have
Auburn, since we just said
Auburn.
Auburn. Georgia.
Got up Georgia.
LSU.
Yeah. That would be a fun one.
LSU is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's. I don't know if you can do the LSU Florida game again because LSU is going to have Texas A&M and Ole Miss, and then Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So no LSU. So you thinking? You
Tennessee.
thinking Kentucky here?
No, give me Tennessee.
Or Tennessee?
Kentucky.
Could be Tennessee, right? It's got to be Tennessee
For
then.
Florida, yeah.
But Tennessee don't have a third opponent yet.
I know, and that's a tough one. I think Florida would probably be it. I don't know. I hate to.
And Florida, South Carolina, they have that weird game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. I don't know. Tennessee used to have that. Like I said, there's a lot of old rivalries that have kind of disappeared. But and the Tennessee-Kentucky one was fun for a while because of the whole battle of the barrel or whatever. You know, the whiskey versus bourbon stuff.
That could be a permanent for Tennessee.
I know they got rid of the barrel because of alcohol-related issues, but
It's like
that's absolutely stupid and soft.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
The
But-
Bourbonberry,
South
Whistleberry, yes. South Carolina
Let's say South Carolina.
for Florida.
Yeah.
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 I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next?
After Florida, I'm let's see, might be a little bit out of order, but let's do Kentucky.
Vandy.
Kentucky. So Kentucky, we've got Vandy.
Who are their rivalries? Yeah.
Vandy. And
Let's say Tennessee.
All right.
And we'll say they have a pretty good rivalry right now with Missouri.
Actually, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. If you look at Mississippi State, you can find one rival. The Ole Miss game's a free space for them.
Yeah.
But
So
finding the
Kentucky.
other two is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So Kentucky might work for that one. If Ole Miss is going to get Vanderbilt, give them Kentucky.
Yeah.
Let's go with Mississippi State, actually.
Mississippi State gets screwed in that deal.
No,
Yeah.
LSU. LSU.
LSU, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
No, Ole Miss. Since it's the LSU game, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
John, does that sound good for you?
Tough grouping for LSU, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So LSU, Ole Miss, and A&M.
Yeah.
Alabama. Yep.
Yeah. So the Gulf War can still happen. I don't know when it can happen, but it can still happen. Because Texas and Texas A&M is absolutely about to happen. And I am going to take Thanksgiving and let's do it.
Yeah.
Oklahoma next.
Let's
see.
do Ole Miss. We'll stay in the state of Mississippi.
Oh yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah, let's do.
Ole Miss,
So-
Mississippi State, and LSU. That's free spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The third one I would do is Vanderbilt because they
Yeah.
played 100 times.
And
Right.
it was a long-standing rivalry there.
Yeah. For whatever reason, that one has survived, and they've played almost every year since 1940 or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, Ole Miss has got a free win at least.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do OU. So you got to do Texas.
Texas,
Missouri.
Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma, Missouri. That's a good one.
Because that's an old Big
Texas.
Eight thing because they've played like 90,
Yeah.
100 times as well.
And then Big 12, like Chase Daniels, Sam Bradford days, like the mid to late 2000s, were like they were battling out for the Big 12 every year.
There's a little history there.
A&M be the next one.
A&M has let's see LSU, Texas, and what's the third one? So
Arkansas.
If
No,
Arkansas
does.
I mean
No,
they're kind of ones that's up in the air. But LSU and Texas is the free space.
We've got Arkansas for OU.
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is what the guys who's trying to plan this the way we are. We're like, we've already used this team, so we got to use this one. This is what they're dealing with.
So Mississippi State, Ole Miss, free space.
Obviously,
We do Kentucky because that one kind of makes sense. After that, I have no idea.
Wait, hold on. Mississippi State, we just did that. We did LSU, Ole Miss, A&M. Who was that?
Corey's writing all this down.
They're not going to have an LSU. They're going to have Ole Miss, Kentucky, and then a third one.
Bruh, I'm confused here.
We did not do Mississippi State. We went straight to Ole Miss.
From Kentucky.
Yeah.
No, we did not. We went when
what did LSU have? Because we already done them.
LSU has Ole Miss, Texas A&M,
and Alabama.
Yeah.
So they can't.
Is that who we did?
Yeah, they can't be. Yeah.
Okay, so LSU has Ole Miss. I asked you guys if it was Mississippi State. You said yeah.
Well, you know.
Who's turning this into you?
Yeah.
Ole Miss, A&M, Bama. Okay.
Yep.
All right, that makes sense.
So Mississippi State, I don't know.
So Mississippi State has Ole Miss,
and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Kentucky, and who else do they?
Let me. Their second biggest rival, and I'm putting air quotes up now for a reason because you're going to hear me, is Alabama.
Yeah.
They're the teams they played the second most times. They seem to seemingly always play. But with Alabama getting those three teams, they're kind of out. That's where this gets difficult. I mean, they ended up.
You knew there was going to be some teams that had a stretch of permanent opponents.
Yeah.
Like you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're going to get like a Mississippi State South Carolina game every year because you don't know what to do with those two teams.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah, you see schedules all the time. It's like Texas A&M and Mississippi State, and it's like, why?
Right.
But people are doing that because State is almost impossible. They're going to be the team
because they have no rival.
They just get shoehorned with somebody. It's going to be like Mississippi State and Oklahoma, or something like that. It's going to be prepare for the unexpected with Mississippi State.
It's going to be Texas.
Well, Texas already has three. They're the one school that is kind of untouchable because Arkansas, A&M, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, OU gets Texas, Missouri, and Arkansas.
Yeah.
So it's got to be South Carolina.
Yeah, and it could be Arkansas, and Oklahoma doesn't get Arkansas.
Yeah,
that could be the other one.
I kind of like Mississippi State and Arkansas.
It's not a bad deal.
Yeah, it's just I think weirdness has the greatest potential to happen there.
Yeah,
that's okay. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to get that a little bit. It's not going to be perfectly clean. It's not going to be clear cut for everybody.
Mm.
All right, Missouri.
It's just impossible.
The Fighting Eli Drinkwitz.
Oklahoma,
Arkansas. Didn't we say?
Yeah, and Kentucky.
Didn't we put Kentucky with Missouri?
We had Kentucky with Vandy, Tennessee, and Mississippi State.
No.
Okay, so it wouldn't be Tennessee. Maybe South Carolina.
And Tennessee could change to, Georgia or Florida. I don't know. I mean, those have been bigger rivals as far as more competitive games.
I think if South Carolina goes with Missouri, Tennessee goes to Florida.
You go. That makes sense. The Tennessee-Florida game, even though there's not like a historical thing there other than the 10 years with Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a major thing that we just focus so much attention on that game to where that game's still a guaranteed CBS game, even when Butch Jones is coaching against, you know.
Yeah, for any fan under 40, it's a huge rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if South Carolina leaves Florida to go to Missouri, then I think you jump Tennessee into that third spot on Florida's list. So Florida gets Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good matchup.
All right, I think next is South Carolina. No, next is Oklahoma. They're not on my list.
They have to have Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, Texas,
Missouri,
Free State.
Arkansas.
Yeah. Okay.
And Missouri.
Texas, Missouri, Arkansas.
Okay. All right. Next up, we will go ahead and do Texas. That's obviously the 3 space. That's Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's done. Next.
Yeah. All right. Let's do the Tennessee Vols next. That's Vanderbilt. We talked about maybe Florida.
Mm-hmm. And Alabama.
And Alabama.
Yeah.
That's, Well, Vanderbilt gives you some reprieve, so I can't complain. So,
Yeah, Ole Miss and Tennessee has dibs on Vandy. That third permanent opponent, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one is probably the Vanderbilt Commodores, which we decided was Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Tennessee,
So did South Carolina have 3 opponents?
Kentucky.
South Carolina, what did we do with South Carolina?
Was it Georgia?
Georgia,
Missouri, and probably Mississippi State.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We should that one in.
That would be the weird one. That sounds like something they would do, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right.
Those are the 2 teams.
Oh,
that
my
Mississippi State
goodness.
has an opponent.
Yeah.
They need to go ahead and announce this just so
This is
Steve
fun.
Spurrier's alive whenever this is announced. Because him having to
is
go,
fun.
South Carolina having to repeatedly go to Starkville, I need a comment.
Hey. Hey, Corey, just send that note paper that you just wrote down and just send it to the SEC office tomorrow.
Greg
So you
Sankey,
don't
good luck
Yeah.
reading that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've figured out stuff.
Yeah.
Greg Sankey, eat your heart out. Yes. So to recap, let me run this down, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
All right, let me run this down. For Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU.
Mm-hmm.
For Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Florida.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Texas, OU, Missouri. Georgia, Florida, Auburn, South Carolina. Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee. Kentucky, Vandy, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Kentucky, South Carolina. Ole Miss, State, LSU, Vandy. OU, Texas, Missouri, Arkansas. LSU, Ole Miss, A&M, Bama. Missouri, OU, Arkansas, South Carolina. Texas, A&M, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Tennessee, Vandy, Bama, Florida. Vandy, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Kentucky.
What were Kentucky's again?
Vandy, Tennessee, and Missouri and Mississippi State.
It can't be Tennessee because we moved them to Florida.
Oh. So
Tennessee is
Kentucky-
Alabama, Vandy, and Florida. Yeah.
Okay, so Kentucky. Yes, okay. Yeah, so
Kentucky was Mississippi State.
Vandy, and they
Vandy.
need a third.
Who's
Who
the
was
one
there?
we're missing?
Do we have Missouri on here one too many times?
I can't see your list, Corey.
I know you can't.
Say, says
All right. Okay.
I like what John said in the chat. I'm looking on YouTube. He says you can't spell circus without UT.
Citrus.
Well, that's true.
You can't spell circus without UT because there's no T.
No, there ain't, is there? Okay, well, it's still Blair on my end.
Yeah. I remember. Thank you.
All right, let's see.
Spurrier was very funny. Ha 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 ha.
Free Shoes University. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna have to map this out. I'm gonna have to retweet this. Ugh, Kentucky. They get Georgia Tech. Screw 'em. They get Swanee. Okay, so as my diagramming skills are off the rails, let's go off the rails. Did anybody watch or is watching the match? The golf tournament between the four
Smokey
NFL
the Bear said,
quarterbacks?
"Don't play with fire."
Right.
It's they need some pros. Like, you know how they did it with they paired Manning and Brady up with a pro.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do that.
That was fun to watch.
Because these guys aren't trash talking each other enough. And
who's in it? I don't even know.
It's Mahomes and Josh Allen versus Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my Lord!
Oh, all right.
So they already started.
Yeah, they started later. They started earlier today.
So who's in the lead?
I don't know. Let's see. This is great shows here. All right. So you're going to get, here's the match right here. All right. You're going to get, who is all tied up, leading to the final hole.
Oh, wow.
Mahomes is pretty good, though. But, you know, Brady
shocking.
Mahomes is good at everything, it seems like.
And you ready for this? Brace yourself. Tom Brady made a clutch putt to tie it up with 2 holes to go.
Yeah, always.
Brady is clutch.
Hey, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I drop dimes not only on the football field, but I drop them on the golf course. So,
are you doing Kermit the Frog?
I thought that was Kermit the Frog too.
I did too.
Yes. No, I'm Patrick Mahomes. Don't.
You're Kermit the Frog.
No, I'm the Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes.
Have y'all seen?
You ever heard it? Have you actually ever heard him talk?
No.
Go watch a Patrick Mahomes press conference. He sounds like a raspy, like Kermit the Frog has been at a Rage Against the Machine concert and trying to hold a conversation.
Oh
That's
my
what
God!
Patrick Mahomes
Gonna have to look
sounds
that
like.
up then. All right.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the Georgia All Whites?
Yes.
No.
I saw that. today.
I'm here for it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
That helmet.
Give me just a second. I will put up the picture for everybody watching at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be blurry.
Oh Lord! Don't Google Georgia all whites. That is a lot of racist posts. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Oh my God!
Well,
bad.
Jeb's canceled.
Yeah.
Now on a list. I apologize.
Good job,
Jeb.
Jeb.
He's gonna get mail from the. You know
Proud
what?
Boys.
Yep.
Oh,
My bad. All right.
Welcome, brother Jeb. You're gonna get those. Have a welcome party on your front door. Front door.
Definitely know what I was expecting to see.
And we're in off the rails, so there we go.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled. Thanks, Jeb.
Sorry.
These guys are racist.
You gotta think before you use the internet.
Yeah.
that is
on.
weird.
Ooh, that's not bad.
That is not weird at all. That is
Dude.
outstanding.
That freaking helmet. I hate to say it is legit.
Like if Georgia rolled out in those, I'm not upset.
Yeah.
They need to roll out with those in the Oregon game. Just out stormtrooper the Ducks.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, Oregon's probably going to come out. Actually, with that being Dan Lanning's first game, I can see Oregon come out and that looking like the old Ducks. Like very traditional, the yellow and green. I can see them pulling that. I don't think he's going to go straight black, straight Darth Vader.
That would be outstanding if he did.
So he's not going to come out and be Dan Mullen? Come out in a Darth Vader suit?
You mean coach at Georgia High School as an offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
They didn't even want him there.
Yeah.
He's a consultant. They're like, no, Dan, we're good. You can tell us like if we have some good ideas, but you're not coaching.
He wants to coach football because he likes doing it, but the SEC is about to pay him a load of money to be an analyst on the SEC network.
Yeah,
he's got Gene Chiswick's role written all over him.
Well, I was going to say, Gene Chiswick's still getting paid by Auburn, so
yeah, he's at North Carolina now.
Right,
he gave it up so he can be in the top 150 in defense like he was last time.
There's only like 130 teams, and yeah, he's in bad trouble.
He has a top 150 defense.
Yeah. Oh,
wait,
man.
aren't there only 112?
Yeah.
Yes. That's kind of like your Joe Milton joke of coaching.
Yeah. By the way, somebody created a Twitter profile for Lane Kiffin's dog, and now because they're absolutely bizarre, his posts are popping up all over my timeline. And I like to have fun as much as the next guy, but not right now, I guess. I don't know. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
I did say that his dog was the only one that got kicked out of the SEC meeting.
His dog probably didn't get kicked out.
I know. That was funny when he said that.
His dog also snapped at Jimbo.
Yeah.
His dog got $31 million to sign.
There you go.
So
Jeb,
by the way, since Jimbo and Nick Saban happened, we have not had a show. Let's off the rails this for a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll talk about Celtic pride.
Yeah, because both of them were absolutely right. Nick Saban was right. Jimbo Fisher was right because nothing illegal was done. It is perfectly legal for those players to get $31 million if they get it at the right time. And it's perfectly legal to say that all of those players were bought. Now, this is the most manufactured, stupid BS in the history of the SEC because they don't want to admit that these are professional athletes. So that the air of amateurism has to come out. It's like, show me where we cheated. No, I didn't say you cheated. We said you bought them.
Right. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Nick Saban even came out and was like, yeah, I didn't say he cheated.
No.
I didn't say he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
I just said he bought him.
Yeah.
Is that not true?
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, whenever that came out, Nick Saban was talking to his boosters.
Yeah.
That was for their benefit. The media ran with it. Jimbo got all kinds of butt hurt. And this was the most tired story ever. And believe me,
you think they're high-fiving at SEC Media Days? Or SEC
probably.
meetings?
My highest viewed video in the history of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast channel was a video that I made about Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. It got 3,000 views in a week.
Nice.
Yeah, all right.
So are you promising 3,000 views for this episode?
Not at an hour and 33 minutes into it, but
You're going an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Damn. Time flies.
well, it's an hour and 3 minutes.
I was say it's only about an hour.
I was going to say, I was like, yeah, my clock must be wrong.
Is there a chance that Georgia could be overrated this year?
I mean, you lose 15 guys to
Yeah,
the NFL.
yeah. The whole defense got drafted.
I mean, and some backups.
Yeah.
It's not a stretch that we're like the notion of us being number one is But on the same token, I just don't think the East is ready to dethrone them yet. I love Tennessee, but I don't think they're ready. I love Kentucky. They're just not ready. Florida's definitely not ready. South Carolina's not ready. Vanderbilt.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Missouri.
I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but Georgia could go 9-3 and still win the East. This coming year.
They absolutely could, but who are they losing to?
Right.
But the problem is, as our partners at BetOnline says, the over/under for wins for both for both Georgia and Alabama is 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
That is a built-in loss in both of their schedules. It's been forever since we could say this, like, okay, Alabama's going to lose a game or Georgia's going to lose a game. And they're just factoring into, I think they're trying to speak it into existence a little bit at this point. But
yeah, Georgia will lose one. But, I mean, you also got to look at, some of their games are tricky where they're placed. Like the South Carolina game where it's placed, it's a tricky game because South Carolina is a tough opponent at South Carolina. Oregon, obviously, it's not a great game to start the year off with under these circumstances, but you have a veteran quarterback. Like quarterback is finally solved, right? You have a guy that was 29 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions last year, and a slightly more aggressive attack. You don't really you didn't really lose anything at receiver because you never really had George Pickens all year, so I can't consider that a loss because you never had him. You barely had him in the playoffs, so that's not really a loss. Defensively, yeah, we're probably going to have to win more games 40-30 something. 40-something to 30-something, or like 45-42. Like we're probably going to have to win more of those games where we are in a shootout versus the 17-3s and the 21-0, or like the days of the defense season average of 6.5 points per game that's long gone.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be more like 14 to 17 points per game on average, if not in the 20s. Like the defense could take a huge step back. That doesn't mean we're going to lose a whole bunch of games. Doesn't mean we're overrated. It just means that if our offense goes cold, yeah, we could lose to anybody.
Except Vandy.
Except Vandy. Whereas last year, it didn't matter.
That's your one win.
Like teams weren't scoring. It didn't matter what our offense did. Teams were not scoring. So 12-0 is like you're gonna have to
I think Georgia.
different.
I do not think. Okay, I'm going to say this. I do not think Georgia is going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination. Everything is relative. Just like when I talk about Alabama being down, it's down for Alabama, not down for Mississippi State. For Georgia, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to function at a different level.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's offense is going to struggle with the loss of James Cook.
That's the biggest loss. That's the one that concerns me because we don't McIntosh is a good receiver. Yeah, Milton's a good receiver, but they're not James Cook.
Yeah.
They don't create those mismatches. But you get Eric Gilbert. So I don't know whatever dynamic he brings to the table, but you add him into the mix. That's, now
you still got Brock Bowers.
Now we got Brock Bowers. You got A.D. Mitchell. You got Ladd McConkey. I mean, you still got weapons.
13 personnel at midfield. It's coming. It is coming.
Shit, no, 14 personnel, man. 14. You're going 4 tight ends and a back.
Yep.
It's coming, dude. Seriously.
Vince Dooley's going to be like,
yeah, you're going to have it, man. It's happening. And instead of Fitzpatrick, it's going to be Oscar Delp. It's going to be the 4th one. So you're going to have Gilbert, Washington, Powers, and Delp in the game all at one time.
Georgia's got their first 3rd and 15 of the season, and it looks like they're in 14 personnel and they're on 35-yard line.
And it's Dajuan Edwards, and you have Darnell Washington as the inline guy. Then you have Delp, and Gilbert flexed out. When I say flexed out, they're not wide. They're like just flexed out a little bit.
And
then
the H-back is Brock Bowers.
And the H-back is Bowers.
Yeah.
And you run 4 verts with those guys. It's freaking nasty.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely not.
Or you throw an H-back screen to Brock Bowers, and it's just ugly. Yeah. So is Georgia going to be down by their standards? Yes, they're not going. They're going to give up more than 6.5 points per game. That's going to be obvious. They're going to struggle. They're going to have more struggle wins than they did last year. Whereas like they're sweating it out against Tennessee, but they end up winning, and luckily it's a home game. They're probably going to struggle win in Jacksonville because it just happens in Jacksonville for some reason. They're going to, they get Tennessee late too. That's the one that scares me. I think South Carolina early. That scares me. Doesn't matter when they get Vandy, they're going to beat the brakes off them. But they get Mississippi State as their other crossover.
There's 2 wins.
They get Auburn.
Well,
there's 3.
Or at least going 3-9.
Mississippi State two years ago against Georgia actually was able to score some points against that defense. And
they did. I mean,
and this is his 3rd year, which he's always better his 3rd year.
This is always his voodoo year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an easy game. So they're gonna. I mean, they could go 11-1.
Starkville?
That I don't know. Oh, I can see the chat now. UGA could easily go 12-1 next year.
Oh wow, we can.
Who's going to beat them besides Bama? Bama, Georgia is like they're kind of on the same plane. Like Bama is better at defense than Georgia, but Georgia will be better at offense than Bama.
Did y'all hear what Billy Napier did? What Billy Napier did at Florida?
Gave out the "I Like to Practice" award.
Well, no, this is even worse than that. You have some of the best-looking jerseys in college football. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And
I would totally disagree with that.
He is going to wear an all-black strip once a year. Think about that. Yep. Take a second. All black at Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what Spurrier has to say about that.
I don't think they have the best jerseys in the conference, but
no, that's certainly in Oxford.
I do like that blue and red.
I mean, it is sharp.
It is very sharp.
And those are Georgia whites, though now.
Georgia comes out in those all whites, but that would be tough to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Just I do like the orange helmet with the Gators on it. If I take my Florida hatred, put it aside, they have a great color combination. When they go, I like it when they go white on blue. And I like it when they go blue on white with the orange helmet.
I'm going to show you the all blacks in just a second, and I'm going to right now. There is a uniform that Florida won that is just absolutely their best look. I'm going to put that up there as well.
And I don't mind the white helmet that they go with every once in a while with the F on it. That's a cool helmet. Tennessee, when they go white on orange, when they go white on white, actually not white on orange, white on white is a good clean look for them.
Yeah, they're stormtroopers. I do like those.
Bama is just a classic look.
Yeah.
Now my question is, while Steve is pulling this up, does Bama have any like? No, thank you. No, no.
It's like South Carolina.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I mean that's horrible.
There is no black in their color scheme. None.
Yeah.
They're orange, blue, and white.
Now I'm going to show you the best looking Florida uniform. Ready?
He's going orange on orange.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When did they wear those?
They wore it as a throwback last year, so it would have been against probably a G5 team or someone.
All right.
Those are pretty slick.
Yeah, I like those. That's what they need to wear.
Those are slick. Now, Jake, does Alabama have? Because Georgia, they only wear the red and the white top for games, but they have if white pants or red pants that they wore the one time for the throwback game against Arkansas, but they still have them. They had the white pants, the red pants, the black pants. Also, and then obviously they're bringing out different color helmets now for the recruiting pictures. I wish they would bring these out. Does Alabama do that kind of thing where they play with different things at recruiting trips?
Not that I know of. I think it's just a classical look, and a lot of people have been begging for the white helmets to come back at Alabama, and they just have no plans on doing it.
This is the same fan base. I'm sorry to make fun of Alabama here. This is the same fan base when they put houndstooth on their collar. They absolutely lost their damn mind.
Yeah. We're hanging on to.
Yeah, it's not even different color. Yeah, not even different color pants. But it's got to the point where if they wore white helmets, which is in their history, if they wore white helmets, they would lose their mind.
But Georgia could go back to the block G with the silver helmets, and that would be in their history.
Right,
that'd be a sick look too. I wish, I'm not a uniform traditionalist anymore. As long as it looks good. Like the Georgia Power Ranger uniforms in 2011 against Boise State were awful, and they got their ass handed to them in them, which is what I was glad for. Unfortunately, Steve, you remember these when Georgia rocked the black helmets and the black pants against Florida on Halloween one year. Is when we were working together, and you called them the Grambling State.
Oh yeah,
it was actually a good look. Israel wore those. Israel was on the team when they wore those.
Okay,
that's cool.
He said he said the guys loved them. He loved the black helmet with the red face mask.
For whatever it is, 18 to 22-year-old athletes that play college football enjoy all black uniforms.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it at Halloween for Tennessee because it's black and orange. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, for Halloween, that is sick. Yeah,
those are great.
You can say thank you to Lane Kiffin for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. One contribution to Tennessee.
Say it, Jeb.
Look, I know we hired Lane Kiffin for a reason. We knew he was a good coach.
Yeah.
Just turned out to be kind of a bad person, but he's gotten better. I'm sure.
Like
I don't know. We'll
Jeb,
see.
if Tennessee went just down the Oregon path when it comes to uniforms, would do you think Tennessee fans would embrace that? Would you embrace that?
Tennessee has a lot of very traditional fans. I think a lot of them would get very upset.
Yes, they would embrace that, and my points would be the smoky grays and the black uniforms they wore last year.
The smoky grays were pretty nice too. I did like those.
Were.
Yeah, no, I'll take it back. You're right. As long as they look good.
Yeah.
Like if they even went as far as having an orange helmet as well, and like a smoky helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what if they came out in full road cone with the orange lids?
Honestly, I'd personally like to see some different combinations. I'm kind of like you. I'm not one of the purists that wants all the old uniforms and think that's the only thing that looks good. I like the idea of kind of mixing it up from time to time, but
I think one or two games a year. Yeah, Lane Kiffin, 2009.
Yeah, he kind of left in the cover of dark, kind of like Tuberville did at Ole Miss, go to Auburn. Yeah.
But we were the beneficiary of that. So
And how Tuberville left Cincinnati to go to Texas Tech too.
That was
Lane had to go through some growing pains. Yeah. He went through them. But
and
I think it was left Texas Tech to go to Cincinnati, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, other way around, yeah.
And we had Franchione leave, and go to A&M. So
yeah, Alabama's got the Mike Price story. So
yeah, we got the Mike Price story.
And then they had Mike Price come in, get introduced as head coach, go to the strip club, and get fired.
Let's take my corporate credit card to the strip club and let's go.
What a dummy!
Sounds like Urban Meyer in Jacksonville for some reason.
Oh yeah,
that's what it reminds me of.
That worked out great, didn't it?
Yeah.
Urban Meyer in Florida, like his recruiting pitch was an AR-15.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, you can join the Crips and the Gators.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Don't worry, we have a pastor. We have a pastor on campus. His name is Tebow.
Yeah, that's what it is. You were balancing it out.
Yeah, it's like good. That's the reason Tebow had to do everything he did, because they were straight evil. They were like,
Did some of our guys kill a few people? Yeah, sure. But Tebow, basically God's nephew.
Tebow blessed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't believe that Tim Tebow actually threw passes to Aaron Hernandez.
Oh my God.
That just makes my mind just explode.
And I mean, they were dynamic with each other, but dang.
And then Tom Brady embraced him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tom Brady was like, "Yeah, hey, we should get this Aaron Hernandez guy involved."
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Meanwhile, it's okay. I'm gonna go watch some film, and then it's 9:00, so time to go murder somebody.
Well, after Hernandez, that's when Gronk come in, right? So I mean, it kind of worked out well.
Yeah.
For them, so
They kind of came in together, didn't they?
I think they may come in together. Yeah.
I think they came in together. They were kind of like the 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Jeb, by the way, you talked going off what Cassie said. That baseball team, I don't know anybody who's going to beat Tennessee in the
those
college.
black uniforms are sick.
I keep waiting. Yeah, I keep waiting for it to be some kind of big disappointment, but it hadn't happened. They have been great.
They absolutely broke Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They lost.
Although y'all got into the tournament, congratulations.
Yeah. You know what they call the last person to graduate from medical school?
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
yeah, no. Tennessee is just, they're playing at
I
another
don't know.
level this
I don't
year.
know how Georgia got into a regional.
Yeah.
They snuck
got
in.
into UNC's regional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the SEC got a lot of teams in. Tennessee was raising y'all's RPI up. You're welcome.
Yeah, Tennessee, they just do everything. I mean, they do small ball. They can hit homers when they need to. I mean, it's just they did. I think they had a guy on third with like one out and bunted him in. I mean, that was incredible.
My one concern for Tennessee has not reared its ugly head yet. But my one concern with Tennessee was that they were going to get too emotional and start making errors and beat themselves, because that's what overly emotional baseball teams do. They beat themselves.
Right.
You can't beat them unless they beat themselves. Tennessee has not done that yet, to their credit. They locked in and won the SEC tournament.
And I want they had that pitcher who throws like 105 miles per hour. I bet that hurts when you get hit by a 105 mile per hour fastball.
Oh,
I bet that leaves a freaking bruise for a month.
It hurts when you get hit by a 70 mile per hour fastball. What are we talking about?
That's true. Yeah.
Back in the day when we played ball, you would have like a 90 mile an hour fastball pitcher, and he was like really good and everything. And then if somebody came out and threw like 96 or 97, it actually just looked like it was like 4 times faster than it actually was because of how it looked. Tennessee comes out with pitchers that start and throw 97 miles an hour, and then they bring a guy out of the pen that throws 105.
I know.
It's not fair.
Good year.
I mean, yeah.
It must be nice.
The kid from Little Big League in the bullpen for him.
Yeah.
You mean Henry Rowengartner from Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosenberger, you're going in.
That guy be throwing to me. I'll be at the plate, and I'll just hit the glove of the catcher snap with catching the ball, and I'll be like, "What just went by me?" What? Yeah, I mean, that's how it probably looked like.
The hell was that?
I know it. Yeah.
You hear the glove pop, and you're like, "Wait a second."
Yeah. Was I supposed to swing? No, I didn't see it.
Although I saw Tim Elko from Ole Miss. This is the highlight of that Ole Miss Tennessee series. Completely take a 105 mile an hour fastball and deposit that over the fence.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's the one thing about 105 mile an hour fastball. If you hit it, it's going a long way.
Yeah, it's going out. It's going out.
So it's either feast or famine. Chicken salad or the rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Georgia plays VCU on Friday in the regional with North Carolina, and I forget who the third team is in that, or the last team. So it's North Carolina, Georgia, VCU, and somebody. About to tell you. Georgia baseball. Let's see. Learns their fate.
Oh, and by the way, the U.S. national team just completely destroyed Morocco tonight.
Out of boys.
There you go.
It was 3-0. And honestly, it was not particularly close.
What was the score?
It was 3-0.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hofstra's the fourth team.
They're getting ready for 2023.
Yeah, there's a thunderstorm coming because the remnants of Hurricane Agatha is going to come across Miami. So you're going to have thunderstorms for one day for the Miami regions, and people from Mississippi are just losing their mind. It's like it's not a hurricane. It's not going to be a Cat 3 rolling through there. At best, it's going to be a tropical depression. Just calm down. Games get canceled today. Yeah.
At best, they might just move over to Marlins Park and close the roof and let's go. There'll be more people at that game than there was a Marlins game, so they'll be okay with it.
Well, yeah. I think the Marlins has handed it to the Braves this year, so
a lot of people are.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize Syndergaard was playing for the Angels.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets re-signed him, but I mean that Mets pitching staff right now is amazing.
But guess what, Jake? They're the Mets.
They're going to falter about August.
They're going to fall apart. They're going to fall apart by the All-Star break.
And then we'll finally get hot and probably overtake them in the East. But
it's really the Braves and the Mets.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Shoresy on Hulu?
Yeah,
I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't.
Watch Shoresy.
That is the hockey ref?
Yeah, the hockey guy.
Yeah. I see the TikTok clips. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It is better than Letterkenny.
I didn't know what that was.
But better than Letterkenny?
I've seen him on Letterkenny, but I've not seen his own show. He's always hilarious on Letterkenny, but it's always like in small doses. So it made me wonder how that's going to be.
I was wondering. I was like, who the hell is Shoresy? Why is this fun? But
he's like a little side character.
I was like dying laughing.
It was telling a story on there. It's like you were named for the place you were born, but how do you abbreviate handicap bathroom stall at the Cheesecake Factory in Boca Raton? It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some great insults.
It's fantastic. They do a good job of not keeping Shoresy up to 11 because that's what you see him on Letterkenny. Is him at 11. It's not like that. There's some of that in there, of course, but it's a genuinely good story. If you saw that episode of Letterkenny to where they played the girls hockey team,
it's the best one.
Oh yeah,
that is a pretty good representation of what Shoresy is. They've recreated Auntie with the new GM lady with they did a pretty good job of that.
All right.
Nice. Well, I got an email from Cam Rogers. He sent one out to the Bleav family.
Okay.
And talking about the NBA Finals. I guess he's a basketball guy. They have a poll going over there. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the Warriors or the Celtics?
Warriors in 5.
I'm rooting for the Celtics only because the Warriors knocked out Memphis and hurt Ja. So
I know, yeah.
I was
aren't
disappointed and upset about that.
Aren't the Celtics the number 1 defensive team in the league?
Might be, but I mean, Steph Curry can make it from a mile away. I mean, you can't once he gets going, you can't stop him.
Do the Celtics still play good fundamental basketball?
Not like they used to.
Right.
I catch your drift, Steve. No.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Not those days anymore, unfortunately. I mean, good.
I mean, Jeb looked that up earlier, so.
Yeah.
There was
definitely not looking any more of it up.
There was a bunch of lunch pail guys on that team. Just guys that just lived in the gym.
Yeah.
Gym rats, first in, last out.
Coach's kids.
The irony is, the reality of it is the greatest trash talker in the history of the NBA was Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some fun stories when you hear about what he used to do to people.
He goes, "You're going to guard me with him?"
Yeah. I also saw
I'm
one
going for 60.
Yeah. I saw one of Larry Bird where he told somebody, he's like, I'm going to put up 48 on you tonight. And the guy was like, no, you're not. He put up 48 on the guy. I mean, it's crazy.
There was one game where they were doing such a poor job defending him. He got bored and started shooting left-handed.
Yeah.
And draining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
still put up like 27 points.
He came out of a timeout and he goes, look, he told the coach, he goes, look, I'm going to fake here. I'm going to go down in the corner. I'm going to shoot this three and I'm going to beat your ass.
Since we're talking about Larry Bird, is he a top 5 of all time NBA player?
Oh yes,
I agree.
Yeah,
there are so many good ones. I don't know. I'm
well. I mean, okay. So I mean, the obvious two are the debate.
Right.
You
can if
Michael
flip,
and LeBron.
You can flip either or.
Michael's by himself. You could almost put it at the next one at number 3 because Michael's number 1 all by himself.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But, I agree 100%.
So you got to have
LeBron and Kobe.
So let's say LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, Bird, Magic, Dr. J, Olajuwon, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell.
There's 10.
Pretty good list, actually.
Yeah.
Bob Cousy, Jerry West.
You want a hot take? And this applies to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. If you were a center playing back then, I don't care. You don't belong in any top 5, top 10 because
not Kareem.
I'll
give you Wilt. I'll give you Bill.
He scored so much because he had an unguardable shot because he was 7'2".
Right, you can't defend that.
He was just really good at making that shot.
Yeah, Olajuwon scored so easily because he had an unblockable shot. The dream shake. Shaq scored so much because he was a runaway freight train, 7'1", 350 pounds that ran like a point guard.
Yeah, that's.
But Magic Johnson actually played center in the NBA and point guard.
Yeah,
you could not ask Kareem or Wilt or anybody else to do that.
Yeah, but they had to change the rules for Wilt. I don't know.
Right.
And I realized the others now had to play under those new rules, so it's different. But it's hard to compare, though.
I think you could drop Wilt in today's game, and he'd be good.
Well, it's because he's 7 foot tall. Yeah, of course.
Well,
a lot of 7-footers ain't got good feet work. You know, honestly,
he's a 7-foot athlete. A lot of 7-footers trip all over themselves. But
right.
You had
the best NBA players are small forwards, in my opinion, or essentially small forwards. And I put Magic Johnson in that category because he would essentially be in that same type of guy. So you have the Larry Bird, you have Magic Johnson, you have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Those are all 2s and 1s.
No,
right.
I'm saying that they're in that body type. You have Michael Jordan, who was 6'6" or 6'7". You have Magic Johnson, who was 6'9". They was in between. They weren't overly tall, but they weren't Steph Curry out there. Steph Curry will never be mentioned in the greatest of all time, other than shooting.
He should be. He's a great player.
Yeah, he's a great player, but he will never be on that list. Now, I think say...
You know who else will never be on that list because he just made some bad life choices and decided to leave?
Kwame Brown?
No.
He will never be on that list, though.
Technically, you're right. Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah.
So Durant is an all-time talent. Like he can play in the post. He can shoot. He can drive. He can score. He can block. I mean, he can do just about everything. He's 7 feet tall.
When you think of the Brooklyn Nets or the New Jersey Nets, who do you think of? I go immediately to Kerry Kittles. And that tells me, man, that franchise hasn't been good very much.
I go to Vince Carter or Jason.
Vince Carter, Jason Kidd is when I growing up watching
that when they went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that one year, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Kerry Kittles was on the team. Kenyon Martin. They had a really sporty team then.
They didn't win it though, did they?
No, they got swept. I think.
Yeah, I think they did.
I think they got swept by the Lakers.
Yep.
With Kobe and Shaq.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't nobody gonna be. I mean, gosh, it's
like the Sixers gave a valiant effort against the Lakers that one year, but it wasn't gonna happen. AI wasn't gonna.
They need it to practice.
Practice. Yeah.
We're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice.
That's Jim Mora meets.
Yeah,
Allen
seriously.
Iverson. Practice.
Practice.
Talking about practice.
We're just trying to blend them together on this show.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. But I mean, it's a your all time list is. You can make cases like Steph Curry. Obviously, is the greatest shooter of all time.
Right.
Durant has all time talent, but like his production just isn't there because he's selfish.
Yeah.
wanted to join up with probably
somebody.
the most volatile player of all time.
Okay, today's rules, the way they play the game now, would you take Steph Curry or Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Then how's Steph the greatest shooter of all time?
I take Reggie Miller for other things. Pure shooting ability, I'm taking Steph.
Yeah, Steph's a freak. Yeah, I mean,
But Reggie Miller, like there's other parts of Reggie Miller's game that I would take Reggie Miller.
Jake woke the dog up.
Sorry. Because I said
Jake
practice.
woke the dog up. Hoof.
It's like, what's that a euphemism for?
Yeah.
Like Reggie Miller's trash talking alone makes him a better overall player than Steph Curry.
The fact that he's Cheryl Miller's sister and was the number 2 player in his own household, to me makes me smile.
Every time he goes to the Garden, they chant Cheryl.
Oh yeah.
Cheryl. So like, all right. So ranking just centers, Steve. Who's the best center of all time?
Best center of all time.
Well, it's obviously not Bill Russell. It's obviously not Will Chamberlain. It's obviously not Kareem. So who is it?
Probably Shaq.
I think Shaq's got to be.
I think Shaq affected even more than Kareem, even more than Bill Russell, even more than Wilt. Actually affected the area around him. I mean, there's 2 things that happen. Everybody knows about the Jordan rules as a way to try and nerf him a little bit and get him down. The other one is hack his Shaq.
Mm-hmm. Because he was awful at free throws.
Yeah. And
it's like shooting a tennis ball down at the rim.
Yeah. Just chunk it up there.
Okay, I can see that. What about, could you make a case for Hakeem Olajuwon?
I could make a case, but I know it was Dikembe Mutombo that did this, by the way, but his commercial doing that is just hilarious.
Yeah.
But I did like Hakeem Olajuwon in Phi Slama Jama, the 30 for 30.
He won 2 championships, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a center who has all that, but
Olajuwon carried those Rocket teams.
Injuries.
Him and Vernon Maxwell, I think.
Yeah. Injuries killed any kind of momentum we had to be one of the best, and that's Yao Ming. I really, but injuries killed his career. I know.
But he was too big and slow and clunky.
But,
Probably why he got injured often.
Right.
Well, yeah, I was going to.
There's a reason.
These injuries.
Speaking of that reminds me of a great Shaq thing. And this was whenever Shaq was at LSU, and he played against BYU and 7'6" Sean Bradley.
Wait, Shaq didn't go to LSU. He went to Western University.
And they're like, "Oh, Shaq's going to be exposed about this big, tall player. He's 7'6". Nope. Like Shaq blocked his shot like 5 times, scored 30 points. It just completely just embarrassed him to the point where Sean Bradley did not even have a good NBA career after that.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Had a great movie career though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shaq was ridiculous. Like the way he'd run the floor in Orlando.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was.
And then he got paired up with Kobe. My gosh.
I was going to say, that time with the Lakers is just unfair.
Yeah. I mean, you got a guy like Kobe who can just drain anything anywhere on the court, and then Shaq inside.
Kobe is a clone of Michael.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But obviously you can never put him above Michael because he models the entire game after Michael.
Yeah. Copy of a copy.
Yeah, he's a Xerox of Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. But one of the greatest scorers of like this generation of NBA.
I'm a big Christian Laettner guy, John. And him in college and those Duke teams was just absolutely phenomenal.
You paired him with Grant Hill. I mean, it was unfair.
Yeah. Bobby Hurley, Christian Laettner, like bullying Bobby Hurley during the game. Oh, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, power forward.
LeBron.
He's not a power forward.
He's technically billed as a small forward.
He's your small forward.
Yeah.
He's a point forward.
But he can play anywhere. He's played center. He's played point guard.
LeBron does what he does because of Scottie Pippen, though. Because Scottie Pippen revolutionized the 3 position.
Right.
Power forward.
LeBron weighs like 260 pounds, doesn't he?
He weighs 290, but he's a 3.
Yeah.
He's a 2-3. He's a 2-ish, 3-ish. He's kind of like a hybrid.
I don't know any good power forward.
Small forward is not
Tim
really
Duncan.
much of.
Wait.
Tim Duncan.
The mailman.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the mailman, Barkley,
Tim Duncan.
Barkley's a good one. Yeah. Carmelo, you're right.
Carmelo, yeah.
You're probably looking at.
That's really the only 3 I can think of.
Where
think of Kevin McHale.
Because he was one of the greatest defense. Yeah, I was going to say, where did Rodman play? Because
Rodman was like a 3-4.
Yeah,
he was a just dominant defensive player. But
I think he played as a 4 on the Bulls because Pippen played the 3.
And he'll get like 30 rebounds a game. I mean, it's ridiculous. He got everything that come off that battle.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
What is Giannis?
Giannis is like a small forward
4?
type dude. Yeah,
he's a 3 or 4, right?
He's a 3. He's more like a 3, but
yeah,
the Greek Freak may be the best player right now, in the game.
I got a picture from Saints OTAs with Jimmy Buffett and Jameis Winston. So obviously Saints for the Super Bowl, right?
There you go.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Steve.
Or Margaritaville, whichever one they go to.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville. He's gonna steal some crab legs from Margaritaville.
Ooh.
Jimmy Buffett better watch out.
Yeah.
Next
Greatest
person
point
says
guard.
shenanigans, I'm going to pistol whip.
Yeah.
Greatest point guard. This is tricky because Magic. It seems to be the obvious answer, but you have Isaiah, you have Allen Iverson, you have Jason Kidd, you have
John Stockton.
John Stockton is the greatest point guard of all time.
Yeah, I mean that's
Magic Johnson was a better player. Best point guard, John Stockton.
I'm gonna go Iverson.
Gilbert Arenas. I don't know.
Well,
not Arenas. Arenas
it's going to be.
But it's not Arenas.
It's going to be a few more years, but it will be John Morant. Just so you know.
Yeah.
John Morant.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He's on that path. He's going to do it.
Steph Curry, technically, is a point guard.
Curry has got to be up there right now.
Yeah.
He's technically a point.
Yeah, but Steve Nash.
I've got him.
Johnson.
Yeah.
The greatest shooting guard not named Michael Jordan.
Are there others?
Kobe
Bean.
Well, okay.
Kobe. Ray Allen was really effective, really good. I don't know if
Ray Allen was a
one of the greatest,
specialist, but yeah, he's
his build as a shooting guard.
Yeah. If we
go
for
he's
the
a shooting
3,
guard, but he's not a complete guy.
Yeah, if you look at a 3 or something like that, and Michael Jordan's the 2, is Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even close.
Yeah. So build. Okay, let's do it this way then. Build your all-time starting lineup.
Shaq is going to be center for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be the 92 Dream Team plus Shaq.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Magic, Jordan, Bird, Malone,
I still can't believe
Shaq.
as much. I told you I love Christian Laettner and everything, but the fact that he was on the 92 Dream Team is just a joke.
They just had to stick one college kid in there just to say they did it.
I guess they needed depth. I don't know.
I would also sub in. I would also sub Duncan for. I would sub Duncan for Malone.
Yeah, Duncan, that hook shot, man.
Yeah,
that was. You couldn't defend that.
No, you couldn't.
so I'll put Steph Curry at point guard. Michael Jordan obviously has to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Duncan.
You got a Vince
Maybe
Carter
Shaq
in
at
there
center.
somewhere because he can dunk over 7-foot Frenchies.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Larry Bird, Shaq.
Yeah, Bird can trash talk his way.
Dang, I want to put this team together on my NBA 2K22 and see how many wins I get.
Yeah.
But you're going against the computer, so
Yeah, that'd be one game we'll probably
if
score
you
about
lose
60
one, you
points.
should just quit.
You're right. Yeah.
Odds to win the NCAA Baseball World Series from betonline.ag. Tennessee 5-2.
Nice.
Oregon State 6-1. Oklahoma State 10-1.
Yeah, they had a good team.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Miami, Florida 14-1. Stanford 14-1. Virginia Tech 22-1. And then Auburn, Arkansas, LSU, Southern Miss, Texas, and Vanderbilt all 25-1.
Van does not look good this year. I don't know how they made that list.
Yeah, they obviously lost Jack Leiter and Kumar.
Yeah, they have struggled. I mean, they have been giving up. So they've been beat like handily.
They still got Harold. They lost.
Yeah.
They may have lost Kumar, but they still got Harold.
Dang, John, that sucks. Just wait till next year when the new NCAA football game comes out. Allegedly.
Oh, and before we get out of here, Johnny Depp won his suit.
He did.
I'm actually surprised.
Was it a 3-piece suit?
Yeah.
Pinstripes?
It was a lawsuit against a public figure, which it's hard to claim libel and win.
Yeah,
And he was able to
it
do
really
it.
is.
But everybody, he lost basically his livelihood. They weren't going to make any more Pirates of the Caribbean. They weren't going to. He got, I think, Fantastic Beasts got rid of him and all of that because of these accusations. Disney should do a Pirates of the Caribbean movie with him within like a year, right?
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah, they need to say, okay, maybe you weren't the person you were accused of being. Let's jump back in it.
Amber Heard just showed who she was.
Oh, yeah.
So they canned her on everything now. I don't even think she's going to make the new Aquaman movie.
So are you saying they're not going to work together anymore?
Somebody talked about her. It's like she really shit the bed with this suit.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
boy.
right.
I love that.
I mean, who
Although-
the hell just shits in their bed just for the hell of it? I mean, God, that's just.
You know,
That's gonna follow her the rest of her life.
the whole thing.
Right.
There's like, no matter how good looking a woman is, somewhere there's a guy that's sick of her shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Johnny Depp-
true.
Johnny Depp
Yeah.
was literally
Yeah, he was sick of her.
sick of her shit.
John, let me guess. It's because of the Madden series. That's what everybody says. Is because EA has ruined Madden.
You know what EA did well though? They're the ones that put out the last Star Trek game, the Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star
sorry.
Wars.
Star Wars.
Yes, Star
Wars.
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was actually a great game, which
I
I was
played it,
shocked that
but
EA
that-
put out a game that good.
Yeah. I haven't played it, but I heard it was really good.
I love that game. And they're making a sequel now, so we'll
Okay.
hope they can continue that streak. But yeah, it's a single player, that's why EA is not really good at that. They do the more, sports games and online stuff,
Yeah.
but they have been kind of slipping in a lot of games recently.
So is 2K going to take
Madden,
over
I'll play.
college?
No, because I mean, EA still has that with NCAA, don't they?
yeah,
they have
the
like
exclusive
a ton-
rights, I think they do.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, because the last great NFL game was 2K6, NFL 2K6, I think, 06, that come out from 2K, and that was just absolutely amazing.
And it's
know
been a while since those have been really good. That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
You know what they should do? They should name that whenever the NCAA series comes back, they should just have Bill Walsh's college football.
Nice.
No, I think
Gus Malzahn's college football.
Which greasy boy is it? Used to play. He's got his own team that makes a football game now.
Really?
Ryan?
Or Bob?
Bob played for the
Greasy,
Dolphins in the 70s.
Yeah, one of the great is
Brian played for Michigan and now is a commentator.
I think it's Bob Greasy's and whatever the football. I can't think of what the name of it is, but it's not. I mean, it's just they only have like 3 programmers right now, so there is still in development. They put one out last year that wasn't that great, but this year's new one looks a little bit better, so I may have to check it out. But
I just hope when the new one comes out, we don't get left tackle number 58.
Oh my god,
guard number 62.
Yeah,
and then like your first recruiting class, you have like Jimmy Sutton. And then next to him is center number 52. Like,
yeah.
I used to just download rosters. You could get online and do that.
Yeah, I mean, I did that every year too, but like it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the guy that you get in as a recruit that has the same name, like Gerald. You know, I'm like, what is this? Can you come up with something different? I just got lazy at the end of it, and they've gotten lazy really bad with Madden series.
Yeah,
and the Madden developers are making the new NCAA football game, so that scares the hell out of me.
Well, the only good thing about that is you could use players in college and then save the draft class and import it into Madden. I did used to enjoy that.
I love doing that.
Yeah,
I would. You do your road to glory, whatever, and then you can take your road to glory and get drafted. That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
I was always a running back.
I thought playing defense. I love like doing the hit stick on people and like getting them injured and stuff.
I
would get the toss sweep and take it to the house. I won a Heisman at North Carolina.
Oh boy!
Wow.
You know how I know you're lying?
And then I turned off the 360.
Yep.
Corey's out there trying to beat Natron mains.
Dude, seriously, I had the Ladanian amber visor, the Sean Taylor amber visor, with the face mask, and I had the sleeve. Dude, I was all swagged out.
That is funny.
Oh my gosh.
The player was supposed to have been Tebow. His name was Christian Sapp. Wow. That man.
All right, Corey, take us home, buddy.
Yeah, I gotta get in bed.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Oh, yeah.
Take me home.
Yeah, some people still work, Corey.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta go to training tomorrow too. Slappies.
Well, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I gotta be up at 5.
Try 8 a.m.
I gotta be up at 5.
I'll be up at 5 too. It's not like I'm waking. It's not like I get to sleep in with Huck. So
Yeah.
When he sleeps in, it's 6 o'clock. Let's just put it that way. So I'm trying to stretch this thing so we can go full 2. So
I'm out.
Our SEC After Dark. We hope you enjoyed our show. If you find us, subscribe, hit that bell notification on YouTube. Find us anywhere you find your podcast. You can look for it, the audio portion of it. You can look for it under the Beasts of the East podcast tree. There, all of our social information is right down below. Jake with Tide Talk Live. Is that the new name?
That's the new name.
And y'all still doing Best of the West, or
Yeah.
we
No, we're still. It's just there's not really a lot of talk about right now. But once football season kicks off, the summer gets started, we'll definitely be on every week doing that.
Definitely, and check out Steve on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, and Jeb, we need to get you on another podcast.
Oh yeah, well I don't know. I just don't know if I have time.
Podcast.
Or
I play so many video games and stuff. I don't know if I have time for that, but I might think about it.
You could join Jake on his video game show.
Yeah.
That I could do.
I do that every Monday night at 7 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Y'all could do a video game Manning cast.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Play along.
I like it.
So-
Actually, did they need to be playing and me and Corey do the Manning cast?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah.
That is it. Well, we do have some summer episodes that aren't going to be probably very exciting, so
I'll be
do
playing
that.
Fortnite while we're doing this, so
We'll just have it up on
Yeah.
the screen, and Steve and I are just talking about whatever.
yeah. That's entertainment you can't get anywhere else, guys.
That's right. Well, check us out. Find us wherever you find us. Follow us on social. If you really want some good commentary, follow Steve at the Stephen Willis. That's some really good commentary. That way.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's over there.
Follow
Jeb's got it easy.
Yeah, he just points out. Follow this guy. So, for Steve, for Jeb, for Jake, I'm Corey. This is SEC After Dark. We thank you for yet another episode. We hope you have a great rest of your week, even better weekend. We'll see you back here same time next week. Good night.
Roll Tide.
Go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Gosh
Big
almighty.
Orange.
Who?
Who?
Huh?
What?
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 Huh?